Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Nort. I hope you guys are having an absolutely awesome day. Now, over the past few days, even the past week, and even the past few months, I have seen hundreds, if not thousands of comments asking me to do this episode. So I thought to myself, today is the day we are doing this episode, and we are doing a myth-busting compilation episode in Fortnite. We're going to take the most popular myths in the community, which have not yet been proven or busted, and we are going to be testing them in today's episode. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I am looking forward to getting into this because we have some pretty amazing outcomes to show you guys today. But before we get into this episode, I need to say a massive thank you to Epic Games for sponsoring this video. They're the people behind Fortnite, and they provided me with a link which you guys can use to download Fortnite for free on your PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Mac, iOS or Android device as well. If you guys would like to download Fortnite for yourself for absolutely free on any of those platforms, make sure you guys click the link in the description below. For those of you unfamiliar with Fortnite, it's a battle royale style game where 100 players drop into the map until the last man or the last squad is standing. You can play with up to 4 friends, you can build, you can destroy pretty much everything around you. It's a blast to play this game. I've been playing it a lot lately, but the most important thing is, guys, is that this series is community driven. So if you guys would like to see me test or bust or even experiment with any myths in Fortnite, make sure you guys comment them in the comments section below, and I'll choose some of the best myths and experiment and test them out in the next episode. And if you guys are new to this channel, then you may not understand that this is my first ever Fortnite video. So if you guys did enjoy this episode, then dropping a like on it would be very much appreciated, because the more support this episode gets, the more videos I am going to do testing out myths and experiments and challenges in Fortnite. So if you guys would like to see me do more of that, make sure you guys drop a like on this video, show this episode as much support as possible, and I promise you guys I'm going to come back with another episode. Anyway, guys, getting into the first experiment, this one I'm looking forward to showing you guys, because this is what happens if you go onto a launch pad whilst you are knocked in Fortnite. If you guys have ever used a launch pad or seen anyone use one, you will know that it will just fling you straight into the air. But if you are knocked, technically it should fling you into the sky. So what we're going to do is go onto the launch pad and see what happens whilst we're knocked. And as you guys can see, it's a bit of a struggle getting on, but now we are on the launch pad, it does not fling you anywhere. So I gotta be honest with you guys, I was very shocked with this outcome. I assumed it's a launch pad, you are still a person, a player in Fortnite, it's going to fling you into the sky, and the likelihood is it would just fling me into the sky and drop me, and of course take me out in the process. So that's what I thought, and that's what a few of my friends thought as well. We were very divided about this, and I just thought it's an awesome experiment to try out. So that myth is unfortunately busted, and you cannot be flung into the air whilst you are knocked using a launch pad. Anyway, guys, next up, what I'm going to show you is what happens if you are knocked and you go towards a campfire which someone on your team or squad has placed down. I'm sure most of you guys have experienced a campfire in Fortnite, but for those of you who haven't, once you place down a campfire, it will start healing every single person on your team. But of course, if you are knocked, will this mean it will revive you? That's the interesting question. So what we're going to do is I am going to knock myself in Fortnite, and I'm going to ask my friend to place down a campfire in front of me. Will the campfire revive me? We're about to find out, and it kind of does. It doesn't revive the player officially, but it does collect the health for the player, so you won't actually bleed out for as long as you are next to a campfire whilst you are knocked, but unfortunately it won't actually revive you as a whole. So if your teammates are maybe in battle or something, put down a campfire and it will still postpone your bleeding out time, but it won't actually revive you. So it's a good trick to know, but at the same time, don't expect them to revive your player. I was semi-divided on this. I thought, yeah, it's too good to be true to actually be revived by a campfire, but it would be a trick which I can imagine would actually happen in Fortnite. So I was thinking to myself, there's that small possibility. How awesome would that be if it did actually revive you? But unfortunately, as you guys can see, you've seen it here now, it won't actually revive you in Fortnite, so you can't be revived by campfires, but it will postpone your bleeding out time, which I think is still awesome. It's a great trick and useful trick to know, and it might actually save your teammate in a crucial battle experience in Fortnite. So moving on to the next myth, this one is huge in the community, and when I say huge, I mean it's massive. I've seen so many different people talk about this myth, so many people try this myth out as well, but unfortunately they have actually been failing with this. They haven't actually found a definitive answer. And I was looking at this like, okay, I've done so many experiments on GTA 5, I've done so many different challenges and experiments as well, that I have to do this and I have to prove this once and for all. And I gotta be honest, guys, it did take me a long time to prove this, many games, many matches, but I do actually have the answer of what happens if a supply drop lands on a random launch pad in Fortnite, because technically the launch pad would fling the supply drop into the sky, and that would be the end of all of that amazing loot. It would just get completely destroyed in the sky and no one would get it. Or even so, it could just be raining all of the loot onto everyone playing that game. That would be insane. But what we're going to do now is actually show you guys one of the first ever clips of a random supply drop landing on a launch pad in Fortnite. And I gotta say, guys, I was so happy when this happened, because even I was starting to assume that it's just impossible to get these to land on launch pads. But as you guys can see, it actually landed on our launch pad. Like, we have a supply drop officially on our launch pad. Now, this is extremely difficult to do, because if you guys have seen any other person try this out, it actually lands on the corner of the squares. If you guys try this out in any location on Fortnite, it will land in the corner of the square every single time. Whilst if you're building, you will only build in the middle of the square. So it's kind of like the developers have coded this game to make sure that supply drops don't actually land in the middle of squares on random things you have built. As you guys can see, once again, on the corner of the square. So what I'm assuming is that because we built these walls around and because there was a tree next to us, it didn't really have anywhere else to land, which is why it got sucked straight onto that launch pad, because that was not a natural landing. When you watch a supply drop land, it will slowly land to the ground and fall on the ground. It won't just randomly get sucked straight onto the ground as if there's something like pulling it. As you guys can see, this is slow motion, and you will see the supply drop just randomly teleport straight on there. It just gets sucked straight onto the launch pad, and that's honestly because I think it had nowhere else to go, because it had a tree and walls on either side. So I'm really happy we got that clip, because we were actually able to show you guys exactly what happens if a supply drop lands on a launch pad, and unfortunately it doesn't get flung up into the sky, which I guess is a good thing, because it means you will actually be able to keep your loot. So don't worry, if you have a launch pad out and a supply drop is coming down, you won't have to destroy it. Nothing will happen to the supply drop. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video right here, because I do actually have some really exciting news. I know how rare mobile codes for Fortnite are in the community. Like, I've seen so many tweets from you guys saying, can I get a mobile code? Do you have a mobile code spare for Fortnite? I see it among so many different communities, and what I'm going to do is actually give out 3 mobile codes, because I do actually have Fortnite on my mobile device, and I've also been sent quite a few codes from you guys as well. I'm not too sure why, but quite a few of you guys have just sent me your mobile codes, so I actually have a little stash of Fortnite mobile codes. So if you guys would like to get one, make sure to comment in the comments section below, and I'll reply and get in contact with as many of you as possible, and if not, I'll just post them on Twitter as well, which I will leave a link to in the description below. And if any of you guys would like to get Fortnite for yourself anyway, then I recommend you guys go and click the link in the description below. It will take you over to the official website where you guys can download Fortnite for your PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Mac, or even, of course, mobile devices, iOS and Android. So if you guys would like to get Fortnite, once again, click the link in the description below, and if you do follow my social medias, Twitter and Discord, then you'll find out exactly when I'm playing Fortnite, and you might even be able to get into a squad with me, or even just play Fortnite games with me as well. So if you guys would like to be a part of that, click the link in the description below, and let's get on to the next myth, because this one I'm pretty sure most of you guys came to see, and this is exactly what happens if you use a launch pad on the sky barrier of Fortnite. I kid you not, guys, we are using a launch pad on the sky barrier of Fortnite. Now this is something which no one has ever done from what I can see. I have researched so much on this. Like, I've been taking a look at what other people may have experienced, whether someone's ever tried this, whether someone's done this, and I can't find a single clip where someone has tried this out. And I understand why, because it's so damn difficult to do. We spent so many games trying to do this because 1, you have to find a launch pad, 2, you have to build up the sky barrier, and 3, you have to make sure no one is there to take down your tower, because it's so easy just for someone to just shoot the bottom of the tower and that's it, game over. And whenever we found a launch pad, it was always too late. I remember the first game we tried this, we found a launch pad when there were only like 10 people left and the circle was so small. So I tried building up and it just got destroyed straight away. But eventually we were able to do this. We were able to try this myth out, this insane myth, because what I was thinking is that, yes, of course, there's a sky barrier in Fortnite. You can't build, you can't go any higher than the sky barrier. But if you guys have ever used a launch pad, it will fling you into the sky. So what happens if you use a launch pad on the sky barrier? Will it fling you into the sky, over the sky barrier? Will the sky barrier take you out? Will it knock you or something? Will it eliminate you? Or will you, of course, go above the sky barrier and get stuck on top of the map? That is what I was thinking. So after a few minutes of building this tower, we did actually come across something pretty surprising. We built all the way to the top of the sky barrier and we realized that we couldn't actually build put a launch pad right at the tippy top of the tower. We had to remove the top level of the tower, so just one of these staircases, in order to put down this launch pad. Now, if you guys try this out for yourself, you will of course encounter the same thing. So this is the highest you can ever put a launch pad in Fortnite right now. Of course, if they increase the sky barrier, then you can go higher, but right now this is the highest you can ever put a launch pad. Now, what I was assuming is that it would put us straight above the sky barrier, and that would be the end of that. You would either get knocked, eliminated, or you would go above the sky barrier and end up kind of breaking the game. But unfortunately, this myth has actually now been busted, because what I was thinking, and just from what I experienced here, is that launch pads fling you quite high in the sky, but the higher you go, especially if you are quite high to the sky barrier and quite close to the sky barrier, it won't fling you very high at all. In fact, it felt like it flung me more further outwards instead of upwards, and I think that's only because I was so close to the sky barrier. So unfortunately, this myth once again has been busted. But we spent so long trying to get this done because it was such a difficult myth to test out, and no one really knew the answer to this. Like, so many different outcomes could have happened, and I'm glad I was able to show you guys exactly what does happen if you do put a launch pad on the sky barrier in Fortnite. This final myth was something I just randomly thought of at the time. As you can see, I had a grenade, I had impulse grenades, I also had C4 as well. So I was pretty kitted out with loads of throwable things in Fortnite, and I thought to myself, we have a spare launch pad, we have all of these things, let's see what happens if we put down, let's say for example, a C4 on a launch pad. Will it launch the C4 over the wall? That would be insane if that actually happened. Like, you could get some amazing tricks, and to my surprise, you can't do that. I was expecting this game to like maybe let you do a really cool trick, throw C4 on a launch pad, it would fling it above the wall or something, but unfortunately, you can't do that, and it will just stick to the launch pad. The same goes for impulse grenades and of course grenades as well. I was kind of gutted by this. I thought if anything was going to get flung by this launch pad, it was going to be the C4, but unfortunately, it does not get flung. It just sticks to the launch pad, waiting for you to activate the C4. And the same goes for the grenades and the impulse grenades as well. I wasn't expecting too much from them. Maybe the grenades, I was hoping once again it would be flung over the wall and you could take out enemies on the other side. That would just be awesome. And like I said, imagine the clips you could get with that. But unfortunately, once again, that is not the case. But I thought it would be fun to test out, because I know there's going to be someone in the comments saying, hey, what happens if you put C4 in a launch pad? So I thought, let's just test this out. It's going to be something people are going to be interested in anyway, and I'm glad we did, because I was very curious by the outcome of that myth. But guys, unfortunately, that's everything I've got for you today, and if you did enjoy this episode, then once again, smash that thumbs up button. It would mean the world to me. I've seen a bunch of you guys ask me to play Fortnite, and for a while now, I was thinking to myself, what can I do which you guys might enjoy, the audience might enjoy? And I was thinking, well, I do some pretty awesome GTA experiments, so by doing this and by bringing my experiments into Fortnite, I just thought it's an awesome idea, and it's something which needs to be done, because there's so many awesome things you can experiment with in this game, and there's so many myths which have not yet been proven or have not yet been busted in the community, and I am willing to put my time on the line for this to prove or bust any of these myths in the community and show you guys exactly what happens. So if you guys would like to see episode 2, then be sure to drop a like on this video, and make sure you guys comment in the comments section below what myth you would like to see me test out. It can be anything, guys, and by the time I make the next episode in this series, then I'll make sure to pick as many of those comments as possible, and I'll put them in that video, and I might even feature your comment as well. So make sure you guys comment below anything else you would like to see me test out in Fortnite, and once again, if you would like to download this game, it's absolutely free to do so. There will be a link in the description below where you guys can download this for your Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, Mac, iOS, or Android device. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this episode. Make sure you guys do subscribe if you want to stay updated with more stuff like this on a daily basis. Anyway, guys, my name is Nort, and until next time, stay absolutely awesome. I'll see you guys in the next video.